Hello, and it's Rachel again today talking about headlines, and this is part two. So let's dive into it. All right. So classic headlines and how they work, and part two. So part one, which is last week, you guys have learned seven different headlines, and today is part two. So we will go through another seven. I think I like seven. It's because it's one of my lucky numbers, but it's a really special number to me. It's also the month that I'm born. Anyway, I digress. Headlines. Just to recap a bit, it basically hooks your audience into reading the next line or watching your video. So without a catchy headline, you won't get people's attention, you won't get their time, so there's no nurture, and of course, without building a relationship, there wouldn't be any sales. So how do you write a good headline? And watch as I break down a few of the classics. So number one for today is do activity like an expert practitioner of this activity. So for example, play basketball like Michael Jordan. Prepare meals like a 3 Michelin star chef or maybe Gordon Ramsay. Sing like a Grammy Award winner or maybe Rihanna. So basically you are trying to appeal to the self-improvement uh desire of people, and this is kind of like an innate desire because people seek to improve themselves and become better, and that is for everyone. So that's why people, they listen to podcasts, they read books, and they go for further education. For some people they do their masters, they do their doctorates. For some people they learn from others like online experts and things like that. And so when you're using this headline, it just appeals to that desire and it gets people interested, especially if they want to become someone that is an expert in that particular activity. The next one is if you don't take advantage of this opportunity now, you'll hate yourself later. So for example, if you don't plan for your retirement now, you hate yourself later. So this is like for financial planners where you want to tell people that, hey, you got to plan your finance. You got to plan your retirement funds now. Okay. If not, you might not have any funds for retirement. So you hate yourself later because obviously when you're retired, then you don't get any income. Though some people do get like government, I think it's government pension income or something like that. But essentially, it's usually not a lot. And most of the time, people have to scrimp and save just based on their pension income. For the next one, it says, if you don't get in shape for summer now, you'll hate yourself later. And this appeals to basically people's desire to look, really sexy, really beautiful, just in time for like summer and get that beach body and things like that, so that they can show off at the beach or show that they can, um, I guess, uh, improve their relationship with their partner or look good together basically. So the idea here is if they, because summer's coming and it's a couple months left and they don't have much time. Okay, so they need to get in shape quickly. They need to start looking at their diet. They need to start looking at exercising, and so that way they won't hate themselves later. The next one is if you don't get yourself a partner now, you hate yourself later. So for this, it appeals to people who don't want to die, I guess, alone, or don't want to feel alone when they're much older and their kids have left them, or maybe they don't even have any kids, maybe they've just got a dog. The idea here is you want to have accompaniment as you grow older, as you go all the way until your deathbed. And so it is quite natural to want to have someone accompanying you, whether that's like your life partner, whether that's like a best friend, whatever. Okay, so the idea here is you appeal to people's desire of not wanting to be alone, and therefore you tell them, hey, you gotta do something about your partner now, or you hate yourself later. And so it works really well with opportunities that if they miss it now, they will regret it later because of consequences that they'll suffer later on. The next one is, do you recognize the X early warning signs of problem? So for example, in an accountant's point of view, they can say, do you recognize the 7 early warning signs of poor cash flow? So obviously cash flow is really important to companies. And so with poor cash flow, even if the company might be making a profit, it's usually not a great sign because they can't pay their suppliers on time. They can't have enough cash to turn around. Okay, so it's important that you speak about this, and then you tell them, hey, you gotta fix your poor cash flow, and these are the signs. Okay, so once you notice any of these signs, you gotta find ways to fix it. And so people appreciate you telling them what they have to look out for, because nobody wants to have that problem and suffer the consequences of that problem. Okay, so you are basically just educating them on how to look out for that problem and who to look for when they want a solution. So the second example is, do you recognize the 5 early warning signs of a broken relationship? Let's say that you are talking to prospects with, I guess a poor relationship with their partner, and maybe their partner abuses them. Because recently I read a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Ronnie Ware, I believe. So basically, for the first story that they've told, it's actually the husband, like it doesn't always happen, but the husband isn't that nice to the wife, and the wife still stayed in that relationship because it isn't appropriate to, I guess, divorce. It's something like a taboo of the past. Okay, so she just bad with it. She just took it on. She tolerated it, but she regretted it. So anyway, I digress. That's not the point. The point is, you want to tell people the early warning signs, and therefore they will be able to look out for it. And then afterwards, they'll be like, oh, okay. Oh, I've got this problem. It looks like this problem is brewing, and I need to find a solution. Maybe I shouldn't be in this relationship at all. Things like that. The third one is, do you recognize the 3 early warning signs of dementia? Of course, being a health topic, it's probably not going to be used in an ad or anything like that. But as an organic content, you could do this because obviously, if you're selling, like, say, supplements for helping with like cognitive function and things like that, then obviously, when you're asking people, hey, you might have dementia, and these are the 3 warning signs that you want to look out for, and then they'll be like, oh, I might have dementia, and they'll be like, oh, I do want to improve my cognitive function. I don't want to have worsened dementia. What if I forget my family members? What if I forget my friends? I don't want to have that. And then so they'll look for you for the solution, which is why you can sell your supplements. All right. So you want to break down all the warning signs, however many that you decide to state. I recommend an odd number because somehow they work a little bit better, but up to you. Regardless, you just want to expand on those warning signs and tell people, hey, this is what to look out for, and they'll appreciate you for it. Okay. Next, the bold claim you can fulfill or guarantee. It sounds a little weird, but I'll explain it. So for example, when I've seen an offer recently, it says double your confidence in 7 days or your money back. And it is a low ticket cost. I think it's just $7. But anyway, they promise to double your confidence in however many days. And it is a bold claim because you think like, oh, I'm not quite confident now, but you say, I'll double my confidence. I'll become really confident as a person, or you give me my money back. So that sounds really enticing because obviously you want to increase your confidence. Like, everyone wants to be confident, but yet it's not like an easy process. And so when there's a claim that can say that, hey, you can double your confidence in such a short period of time or your money back, you'll be more inclined to say yes, at least at the point when you're buying the product, because you feel as if you've got nothing to lose. And that's what the guarantee helps. It increases conversions because it basically takes the risk from the prospect onto you as the supplier of the product or service. So the next one would be get your first client in 14 days or double your money back. So the guarantee must be something ridiculously crazy, usually, because when you've got like a really awesome guarantee, like your money back or double your money back, it feels to that person as if they've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And that's when you're more likely to turn people on the fence into people just saying, wow, that's an awesome, awesome offer. I want to get that. So people on the fence started to say yes. And the third one says, lose 20 pounds in 30 days or we'll work with you for free until you reach your weight goals. That is also pretty strong, although it doesn't say, they're going to get your money back or things like that. But usually, most programs have a set time limit because obviously they want to, number one, encourage people to take action immediately. And number two would be, obviously, when you're working with customers and clients, you can't take on so many at one time. And therefore, most of the time, they usually have like a limited time. So like 3 months or 6 months or even a year for most masterminds. And they kind of renew it every year. But there's usually limited people because when you have too many, the quality kind of sort of fizzles out. And so the point of this is you tell them that you'll work with them for free. So they paid once, maybe for like a 90-day program, but they haven't got that weight goal of 20 pounds in 30 days, which is what you promised, which is a booking. And so you say you work with them for free until they reach their weight goals, which could be 30 pounds, but you will essentially continue to work with them until they get there, which is a pretty big guarantee. So it essentially takes the risk away from them as well, because you're willing to work with them until they get to their goal. Okay, so use a great claim that you can fulfill, because this is actually like the thing that proves how well your product works and how good your product is. So you can have like a really great marketing and sales, but if your fulfillment side of things fails, then there's really no point, because number one, you're not going to get word of mouth referrals, and number two, the whole space, like the whole online space, is not as big as people might think. Like when you have got a bad rep, it is actually not a good thing. So always make sure that you can fulfill that bold claim and give like a wonderful guarantee. Okay, next is see how easily you can achieve result. So for example, see how easily you can automate your content marketing, which is something along the lines of offering like content planners and schedulers, like auto scheduling, so they can automatically post your content onto the different social media platforms for you. And so when people see how easily they can achieve that particular result, then they will come to see you to get that result, because everyone wants to get results really easily, really fast, and without much fuss or effort. The next one is see how easily you can get that beach body ready in time for summer. Yay, summer, because obviously they want to look good. The third one is see how easily you can learn to play the piano. Pardon the how, that's not there. Okay, yeah. So see how easily you can learn to play the piano. Like for example, they've always wanted to play, to become a great pianist, to learn all the pop songs, and you are able to help them easily play the piano. Maybe it's playing through hearing, because I don't really read like notes. I call them taogays. I think people call them taogays too, but essentially I don't read music notes and I play by ear. So it's really odd when I used to learn with my piano teacher, because she makes me read the notes and I try to read the notes, but every time she hums the song beside me. And whenever she hums it wrongly, I play it wrongly. It doesn't matter what the note says. Whenever she hums a do, I will play a do, even though the note says it's re or something. Anyway, the point is I play by ear. So it's a little bit different to people who read notes. Anyway, going on next. You don't need to or have to perceived prerequisite to achieve results is the next headline, okay? So for example, the perceived prerequisite would be something that everyone thinks that you need, or everyone tells you that you need to achieve results. But in actual fact, you don't need them. So for example, You don't need hours of onstage experience to be a good speaker, or you don't need to join Toastmasters to be a good speaker, or something like that. People think that you need to have certain prerequisites, and you tell them, hey, that's not true. And then they'll be like, oh, because it's a bit like a myth busting. It's like a mindset changing. It's like helping them to understand that actually there's not that many things holding them back. It's actually themselves. It's actually them thinking that they need something just to become or just to achieve results. But that's precisely why they're not taking any action. So they're not achieving any results. So you want to take out this perceived prerequisite. You want to tell them, hey, you don't need to have this. You don't have to have this. And remove that roadblock. Once you remove that roadblock, then they will see how easily, remember the headline before, see how easily they can become or they can achieve results. Okay, so the next one is you don't need to look like a model to find a gorgeous date. And I think this is especially true because sometimes I see like really, really gorgeous women with average looking men, or vice versa, really, both ways. But essentially, it doesn't matter how people look. It's more about like their character, how humorous they are, their personality, and it's not really like a look kind of thing. Because people grow old. I mean, like, handsome people aren't gonna be handsome forever. Beautiful people aren't gonna be gorgeous forever. People grow old, they get wrinkles and, things like that, okay? Next, you don't need to have years of experience to be a good manager. Now, this is something that I love because people keep telling you that you need years of experience, but it's not true. Okay. Anyway, why am I so on about this? It's because it's not about years of experience. It's about having good leadership. Like, yeah, you probably need a bit of experience in the sense that you need to, manage people, but it doesn't take 10 years. And it's not about someone having 20 years of experience managing people might not manage it as well as someone with just 5 years, because it's about, it's about the person themselves. So say that you're on year 1 and you're managing people, and then you notice that you've got some flaws. Maybe you're a bit too rubbyish. You tend to, scold people when they don't do well. You tend to not give people credit and things like that. And then you realize that yourself and you decided to change. You decided to become a better leader. Now that is the thing that makes a good manager. Not someone who has managed people for 20 years but hasn't changed shit, okay? Anyway, I digress again. You don't need to have perceived prerequisite to achieve results, okay? That's the point of it. So it removes the roadblocks. It prevents people from thinking, I've never been a manager before. I don't think I'm suitable for it, okay? All right, next. What's new in topic matter? So this one, I personally feel is a little bit weaker than the rest, but it does spark a bit of curiosity. For example, what's new in the best workouts for weight loss? What's new in Facebook or Instagram paid advertising? What's new in ladies fashion? Okay, so it sparks people's curiosity, especially if they are intentional about learning these topics, and especially if they are interested as well. So you can use this kind of headlines. All right. If you like this kind of videos, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you want more tips on living out your best life and value-driven content, my social media links are up on the top right-hand corner of the page. And I wish you a wonderful day.